Peace and love, everyone. Sending you all positive energy, high vibrations, success on your entrepreneurship, all love, all positivity. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You hit the like button and you leave me any comments or questions in my description below. Today, I'm going to be speaking about astrology and actually our rising sign. Okay, so what is our rising sign? Our rising sign is the sign that lets us know where was the sun when we was arising on the eastern horizon. Okay, so the sun always moves from east to west. Okay, and also the sun rises on the eastern horizon and it sets on the western. Okay, always be familiar with that. So the rising sign indicates where we took our first breath. Okay, and what is the rising sign? It is our first impression outwards into the world. Okay, so it lets us know how we express ourselves socially by our first impression. Okay, so this is an energy where if someone first meets us and we are a Leo, okay, just a Leo rising, for an example. Okay, we're going to be that type of individual that is always expressing ourselves outwards. We are an individual that like to be a natural born leader if we are Leo. Okay, so we're going to be socially expressive, and that is basically what the rising sign is symbolic to. Now, for decades, a lot of individuals was unaware of the rising sign, and we all was going by our core sign, which is our sun sign, which is actually lets us know our soul purpose. Okay, so I'm going to let you all know each aspect of the zodiac signs and how to look at the energy of the zodiac signs by actually having the knowledge of it, also viewing it for yourself on astro.com, also by me letting you all know the energy of each aspect in astrology. Okay, so it's very simple. So right now I'm just focusing on the rising sign, and in Western astrology they go by the Eastern Hemisphere as the beginning of the birth charts. Okay, so that's going to be actually on the left side. Okay, and it's symbolic to the beginning. Okay, where the sun was at on the horizon. Okay, always be familiar with that horizon, where it was rising at. Okay, so back in Kemet, for an example, astrology definition is study of the stars. So the ancients basically rested at night, but during the day they did all they growing crops, tracking the sun, building, okay, traveling, and everything they did was based upon the sun, because that's when we have our highest alertness, is around 10 a.m. connected with the sun. That's why they were big on worshiping the sun. And not only in African tradition, it's a lot of different traditions that also study the sun, okay, and also the moon and the stars. So actually the stars and the sun both move in a direction from east to west. Okay, always be familiar with that as well. So when we're tapping into our rising sign, that is the first sign that governs all the other signs. Okay, that is our first impression. Okay, it also can be found, I did a video about an hour ago. It can also be found on astro.com, but we have to have the exact time we were born to have the accurate information. Where we can find our exact time of birth is on a certificate of birth. Okay, for mine, I'm from Cincinnati, and actually on my birth certificate it wasn't on there, so I got a certificate of birth and it was on there. So that's where you can actually find your rising sign at. Also on the birth charts, it can be found on the Eastern Hemisphere, going by Greek mythology. Okay, Greek mythology. Okay, I always be familiar with that. So where my finger at, okay, just below this line, that is the Eastern Hemisphere. That's where you'll be able to find your rising sign on your birth chart. But when you go on astro.com, 555 on the clock, and also 333 was on the clock. Also, they will be very specific on astro.com far as Greek horoscope, okay, and studies. They actually let you know, the earth signs are color green. They also are Pacific, and they'll let you know where your rising sign is 6 degrees in Taurus. So it'll tell you. Now, your rising sign always going to have a SC sometimes. Or I'm sorry, it'll be a AS or a ASC, okay? And it's just abbreviation of a rising sign, and that's also known as the light side. Okay, I always be familiar with that. So we have, for where our rising sign that will be on the east, this will be the light side. This will be the west side on Greek mythology. Okay, east, west. Also, this will be known as the north node. Okay, that's also known as the darkness, and this will be known as the south node, and that's all for Greek mythology. Okay, that's how they actually describe it on astro.com as well. Okay, I always be familiar with that. And we basically have houses. Okay, so I'm going to come on and I'm going to let you all know the energy of the 12 houses as well. But we're focusing on the rising sign. I always be familiar with the rising sign. It's great for you to tap in, to have the knowledge of the rising sign. Once we are connected with astrology, it's connected to our being. Astrology governs our body. That's why we are able to view the energy of the collective consciousness and also ourselves by tapping into astrology. Okay, so the ancients, civilizations were big on worshiping, studying the stars, the moon, and the sun. Okay, it's universal knowledge. Okay, once we are aware of astrology, we are aware of ourselves, and we also are aware of the collective consciousness. 8:18 on the clock. I always be familiar with that. So I just wanted to come on and shed some light of the rising sign, how to find it, where to find it, and the energy that it holds. Okay, I always be familiar with that. It's going to let you know exactly about yourself in the beginning. Okay, and that's where the sun was first rising on the eastern horizon. Okay, a lot of individuals, once they find out they rising sign, they start going by their rising sign instead of their core energy, their sun sign. But every aspect in astrology, because it governs our body, is very vital for us to have the understanding of it. Okay, so not to just focus on one thing, but make sure we focus on all of them. And we start off with the rising sign because that's the most important sign that governs the body. So once we start off with the rising, we go down. Okay, counterclockwise, we go down the horoscope signs, and what the horoscope signs is symbolic to is the energy that the earth, the sun, don't move. So the horoscope signs travels, okay, around the actual zodiac signs, but the sun doesn't move. Okay, that's our core energy. It's not going to move. That's the core energy of the actual zodiac sign. So the sun is always in the middle. Always be familiar with that. So I love you all. Sending you all positive energy, high vibrations, success on your entrepreneurship, all love, all positivity. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You hit the like button and you leave me any comments or questions in my description below. I'll be back with more astrology. I love you all. Peace and love.